Did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of this?
We're terribly sorry.
No, you're not.
Fair enough, fair enough. We'll leave it there, it's all good.
That, of course, is Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Very seriously, not joking, no sarcasm, apologizing to Donald Trump at the White House for what they've been doing on South Park, which everybody watching this is obviously familiar with. But just in case you haven't watched the episode, which you totally should, it is a wild ride. The president was depicted in the premiere of this new season of South Park in basically the same way that Saddam Hussein was way back in the South Park movie at the turn of the millennia. He's a small-minded, angry little guy who's literally in a sexual relationship with Saddam Hussein. And in this case, you also very often get to see a depiction of Donald Trump's fully nude tiny penis, which, look, this is an artistic interpretation of his genitalia. It is based on the only accounting we have of it, which comes from Stormy Daniels. So there is reason to believe this is accurate. And both of those stills are from the show. And so both in cartoon form and then horrifically rendered in startling detail, you get to see the tiny little penis as Donald Trump runs around threatening to sue everyone, which is why I love this episode, and it's what South Park is at its best, where yes, it's mocking people in crass ways, but it's also commenting on real news, and it's willing to take those shots even very close to home, wherein they're effectively talking about CBS and Paramount and Skydance and the whole thing. All of these different news organizations bowing down to Donald Trump as he threatens them with lawsuits, giving in to him. And so they came out with this right as the FCC finally allows the Paramount and Skydance merger with this big deal. They're getting $1.5 million for the next 5 years of South Park. And you have to imagine that Donald Trump is very mad about this. We'll actually get to the White House had to say about it. And the companies themselves might be frustrated that this could bring back the meddling of Donald Trump and the FCC to maybe try to ruin this deal, even though it was just allowed. And so it's just, I love having a good pop culture story to talk about, Brett, especially one that's as topical as this. What do you think?
And what's hilarious is John misspoke because the number is so hilarious. He said $1.5 million, I think, and it is $1.5 billion.
Oh, I meant billion. Yes, it is.
I think you said at the beginning, but in that last reference, it is $1.5 billion, and they're like, well,
yeah,
here's his tiny shriveled wiener, and here he is having intercourse with Satan.
Exactly. By the way, just briefly mention, I'm gonna get to what the White House had to say. Isn't it amazing that the FCC finally stopped having issues with the merger? Almost as if they got the last bit of business that they had to do out of the way, Stephen Colbert, and now we can allow it, and it can go through, and business as usual. Isn't that suspiciously timed? But anyway, as I said, the White House wasn't happy about this depiction of Donald Trump, which I don't get. I think it was generous, but here is what White House Assistant Press Secretary had to say. The left's hypocrisy truly has no end. By the way, the idea that you're labeling Trey Parker and Matt Stone as the left is ridiculous. Have you literally ever paid attention to South Park? But whatever. For years, they have come after South Park for what they label as offensive content, but suddenly they're praising the show. No, people have liked it and disliked parts about it from the very beginning. Just like the creators of South Park, the left has no authentic or original content, which is why their popularity continues to hit record lows. The show has been relevant for 20 years, blah, 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 blah. Trump is blah, 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 stupid stuff. Yeah, and so that's pretty funny. By the way, I love being told that the left has no original or authentic content when the White House can't stop putting out AI generated images of Donald Trump and AI videos of Donald Trump. And like, where's your authentic content?
He dances with air jerk-offs to 1973's Macho Man.
Yeah.
That's not original, it's not new, it's not fresh. He's an 80s board game.
Exactly. Speaking of which, Trey Parker and Matt Stone apparently are big fans of board games. I too am. And so you guys, you wanna hang out? I'm in LA, we can play some games. I got a good collection.
To say that South Park hasn't been relevant for 20 years, my guys, Put the money, there's a scoreboard that tallies what it's valued as, and it's $1.5 billion.
Which is a lot.
Over 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know who Taylor Rogers is.
I don't. No, 1.5 billion, that's like 3 TDRs. Like they are more than relevant. Don't worry about them. By the way, I alluded to the Paramount thing. I do just want to quote Jesus from the episode saying, I didn't want to come back and be in the school, but I had to because it was part of a lawsuit and the agreement with Paramount. You guys saw what happened to CBS? Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. You really want to end up like Colbert? I mean, that is like, again, kind of like I was saying in one of our breaks about Miss Rachel, they're willing to potentially be canceled over this. And I admire that. That's the sort of courage we need in our art.
Pay out the contract. And like, by the way, Skydance, you know who owns that? Larry Ellison's kid. Larry Ellison is a Silicon Valley billionaire. And the joke around Hollywood and Silicon Valley is that he wanted to buy his little boy a movie studio.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Like, come on, dudes.
Yeah.
They made The Godfather. And he's like, I want to have a special studio for all myself.
Which I'm sure
Michael
would be fun.
Schur's
But
uncle's legacy.
I don't see how they could exceed this. They came out the gate swinging, but we do know that based on previews that have come out, it looks like they're going to address the tariffs with Canada. It looks like there's going to be some of the stuff about the conflict between the United States and the international community, including France. And so I don't think it's really been the case for quite some time that South Park has decided to really run with like a serialized story over the course of a season. But if they really want to go to bat against Donald Trump, the regime, the censorship they're seeing, that it is possible they could do that throughout the rest of this season. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.